YouTube channel. Today we will discuss the side determination of humerus. It is either right side or left side. First, the external parts which we focus for the side determination. First, this is the head of humerus. The head of humerus is directed medially and forwarded. This is the lesser tubercle. This lesser tubercle is always present on the front of humerus. Lesser tubercle. On the lower part, it is triangular part. This is known as the medial epicondyle and this is known as the lateral epicondyle. This medial epicondyle is larger and more prominent than that of the lesser epicondyle. On the posterior part, olecranon fossa is there. On posterior part, olecranon fossa is there. So, according to that, this humerus is belong to right side. This is the right side of humerus. This is the left side of humerus because head is directed medially. Lesser tubercle present in front of humerus. This is medial epicondyle, this is lateral epicondyle, and below or behind that is the olecranon fossa is there. So this belong to left side of humerus. This is right side of humerus and this is the left side of humerus. Humerus is the longest bone of upper limb, also known as the funny bone. Okay. External features of humerus. Humerus is divided into three parts: upper end, middle end and lower end. First, upper end of the external features. Upper end contains the head. This is the head. This part is head and which is directed medially and the forward. This is the lesser tubercle. This is always present in the front of humerus. Already I had said it. This is the lesser tubercle. This part is known as the greater tubercle. This part is known as the greater tubercle and this greater tubercle contains three impressions: upper, middle and lower impression. Upper impression, middle impression and lower impression. This is the greater tubercle and this is the lesser tubercle. In between that, here is a sulcus or a groove, and this groove or this sulcus is known as the intertubercular sulcus. Intertubercular sulcus or basipetal groove. Intertubercular sulcus or basipetal groove. Okay. So this is the surgical neck. This is the surgical neck which separate upper end from the shaft. This separate upper end from the shaft. This is the anatomical neck. This is the anatomical neck which separate head from the upper end. Which separate head from the upper end. And one of the neck is there that is known as the morphological neck, which present 0.5 centimeter just below the surgical neck, but it is present in the developing bone where epiphyseal line is present. Where epiphyseal line is present. That is known as the morphological neck. Total three neck: anatomical neck which separate the head from the upper part. This is the surgical neck which separate upper end from the shaft, and one is the morphological neck. These are the three necks which are related to the upper end of the humerus. Contain three borders and three surfaces. Three borders and three surfaces. This is the anterior border. This border is known as the anterior border. We start from the lateral lip of the intertubercular sulcus. That is the anterior border. This border is the lateral border. This border is known as the lateral border which end into the lateral supracondylar ridge. This end into the lateral supracondylar ridge. This is the medial border. This is the medial border which also end into the medial supracondylar ridge. This end into the medial supracondylar ridge. These are the three borders. Now come to the surfaces. Also contain three surfaces: a surface in between the anterior border and the medial border. The surface in between the anterior border and the medial border is known as the anteromedial surface. This surface is known as the anteromedial surface. In the anterior border and the lateral border is known as the anterolateral surface. This surface is known as the anterolateral surface, and a surface in between the medial border and lateral border. A surface between the medial border and lateral border is known as the posterior surface. This surface is known as the posterior surface. Now, into the anterolateral part, there is a elevating part is known as the deltoid tuberosity. This is known as the deltoid tuberosity. This part is known as the deltoid tuberosity. On the posterior surface, where is a groove, here is a groove. This is known as the radial groove or spiral groove. This groove is known as the radial groove or the spiral groove, which is triangular in shape. It is triangular in shape. This is the projecting part or bony prominent, which known as the medial epicondyle, and this part is known as the lateral epicondyle. Medial epicondyle is larger than that of the lateral epicondyle. The line above the medial epicondyle is known as the medial supracondylar line or medial supracondylar ridge. This is the lateral epicondyle. Above the lateral epicondyle, the line or ridge is known as the lateral supracondylar line or lateral supracondylar ridge. This part is known as the trochlea. This part is known as the trochlea, and this part is known as the capitulum. This part is known as the capitulum, and this part is known as the trochlea. A fossa which is above the trochlea, the fossa which present above the trochlea is known as the coronoid fossa. This fossa is known as the coronoid fossa, and a fossa above the capitulum is known as the radial fossa. It's known as the radial fossa. A fossa which present on the posterior surface of the lower end is known as the olecranon fossa. This is known as the olecranon fossa. Total 3 fossas are present. This is the radial fossa, this is coronoid fossa, and this is olecranon fossa. This part is humerus, which contain 2 edges. This is the medial edge of the trochlea, and this is the lateral edge of the trochlea. Medial edge of the trochlea, is 6 mm lower than that of the lateral edge of the trochlea, so that they form a carrying angle. And this carrying angle is normally 14 degree in female and 11 degree in case of male. So this is known as the carrying. 3 bony important prominence in the elbow joint. This is olecranon point, this is lateral epicondyle, and this is medial epicondyle. Olecranon, medial epicondyle and lateral epicondyle. During the flexion of the elbow joint, which form a triangle. This form a triangle in between the medial epicondyle, lateral epicondyle and olecranon process. This is known as the equilateral triangle. And after extension of this elbow joint, the olecranon, medial epicondyle and lateral epicondyle, they comes into the single line.